What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode number 22 of Box Office Banter, and we are jumping into Jenny and, the boys and Forrest Gump. Let's just jump right into it. Let's jump.
I loved it.
Let's go.
You loved it?
Feet first.
All right, guys. Hell yeah. This has been Box Office Banter. All right. Who wants to go first?
Josh.
Me? Okay.
You?
I mean, I'll just start. Movie opens.
Actually, before you start, I hate to interrupt you. Rodney's not here if you didn't notice.
I don't think
or
they
is
even
he
noticed.
in Rooster Illusion form? Okay, as he likes to call it. He had a family emergency, so now that we cleared that up, hope everything
You can't get that out.
Works out.
Yeah, it's not working. Anyways, yeah, very, very sad news on his part. We will not reveal what happened, but that is why he's here, so he has good reason to not be here right now.
Yes.
Anyways, Josh, take the floor. Floor's yours.
So I was saying that it opens with a feather, but before I even get to that, I want to hear the
Stone Cold.
boom. How quotable is this movie?
Oh,
There's
so
many huge quotes
Quotes on top of quotes on top
coming
of
out of this movie. That's something I knew, but I didn't really realize until I rewatched it. It's been a long time since I've seen Forrest Gump, but like, life's like a box of chocolate. Like, people say that all the fucking time.
Yeah, you almost forget all the quotes that are
The
in this
run,
movie, and then they
Forrest,
say
run.
it, and it's like, yeah,
Holy
like
shit, that's where it comes from.
yeah,
And-
stupid
Jenny,
is,
like,
stupid does.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
just
anyways,
keeps going.
movie opens with that white feather floating around and then lands at Forrest's feet. He's sitting at the bus stop. And then most of the movie
Went for this one.
is him basically telling stories.
Yeah.
Which I like
and
how
they
they
are
did
amazing
that.
stories.
To random
His whole
motherfuckers.
life story, basically, in 2 hours and 30 minutes.
But right off the bat, you get that probably the most famous quote, life's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
It just hits home. It just does,
Which, kind of funny that he's offering that chocolate to the lady at the bus stop, and then at the end of the movie, the chocolates were for Jenny the whole time, and he's like offering them to fucking complete strangers.
He's so
at the bus
nice,
stop.
man. You can't help but love Forrest.
Dude, love Forest, any type of wooded area, I'm on it.
Woods, you like woods?
Woods, like I said, any type of wooded area. Dude, I had forgot that Forrest had some Ku Klux Klan
Yes,
lineage.
that was my next note.
That was
about
like
to get into.
okay. I love how because he's not full on retarded. Never go full retard. As even what's his name, Robert Downey Jr., whatever his character name was in that, pointed out, he literally brought up Forrest Gump. But of course, he had the 75 IQ, as you can see by the principles chart.
Yeah.
And Gump, he never went full retard. That proved it right there. That's all you needed was that little principle chart.
Yeah, and it's funny because his son, not to ruin anything, is named after him. So his son's named after. They're carrying on that Ku Klux Klan heritage
God.
through their
Oh,
through their
I didn't
family.
even think about that.
Let it live
Yeah.
on, right? Like, what is this? Yeah, and dude, Forrest's mom, though, bro.
She'll do anything.
She
for,
sure went above and
She
beyond
loves-
for him, dude.
She loves her son, man. Got to get that education.
Oh, my Lord. Like, yeah, like, is there a daddy? He's away on a fishing trip right
He's
now.
I know where this is
vacation.
going.
I never forget seeing this movie when I was like 4 or 5, because this is the type of movie like you would show a kid in a weird way. I feel like every kid has seen this, but that scene's kind of like, damn. Like, I remember being a kid like, are they fugs? And like, I was over there like tripping about it.
Are they
Yeah.
wrestling, mommy?
Yeah, what is that? And of course, Forrest's like, when he
so
starts
funny.
doing that shit.
He asked him if he said anything, and he repeated the words.
Dude, honestly, Tyler reminds me a lot of Forrest. Honestly, I mean the
What the
retard.
fuck
You're
is that?
75 IQ, dude.
No, the retarded part, yes, but I meant more along like all the amazing stories about the people he's met
Oh.
and everything. You know what I mean?
Dude, well, everyone loves Forrest Gump, so
He's like, I'll
take
it.
that as a compliment.
Oh my!
Oh my
Don't
God.
call me. Don't.
He's like, don't do that. Like, let's
don't
talk about
make-
this beforehand.
Jesus,
But yeah,
man.
heading into like him meeting famous people, like Forrest has no idea like
No.
how awesome these stories are that he's telling. Like
Yeah.
Elvis stayed at the inn,
Oblivious.
but he just had no clue that was Elvis, and that Elvis took his dance moves
Yeah.
and made him famous. And like throughout the whole movie, there's so many of these things that like almost said Elvis. Forrest Gump is responsible for, but he's just like Brandon said, so oblivious to it, doesn't even realize that he fucking called in Watergate and like busted that whole thing. Like just throughout the whole movie. Yeah, and I think it has to deal with that 75 IQ, probably.
Yeah, 75 IQ, dude.
He's just happy-go-lucky.
Just like Tyler. Anyways,
Are you calling me dumb? Like, are you being passive-aggressive and calling me dumb? on the
No,
podcast?
no, sir. That actually, Josh brought up the 75 IQ part. Like I said, I was like, well, that too. I had to add that in.
Mine's
for
at
effect,
least
but-
10 points higher than that.
At least, bro. Just like my score will be 10 points higher in basketball, son.
Maybe than
Okay.
Tyler, but 10 less than me.
There's a shameless plug. Yeah, dude. What about all the kids on the bus? You know, when he first meets Jenny.
Did you
assholes.
copy my notes?
I hate to
You're reading them
yes,
like
yes.
line for line.
I hate to say this, but dude, those kids had the most punchable fucking faces I've ever seen on children, and I feel like I wouldn't even feel bad about abusing those kids.
Dude,
Like,
that's
just
how-
because
not here, Forrest. Or whatever
just because
his
of their
name.
face or the way they're treating Forrest?
The way
or
no,
both.
It's the way they're treating them, their accent, and the way they
That's
look, and they
Southern.
all look dirty. They're like, "No room here." And it's like, dude, why do you even sound like that? You're like
Break
6.
out your nunchucks.
Yeah, dude. It was just the whole time I was like, I hate these kids.
And then who's he meet?
Jenny.
Who's got a
He meets Jenny on the bus.
What's her name?
Jenny.
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 There you
Say it
go.
with the
Dude,
75
I can't do
IQ.
impressions. I'm not even going to try a Forrest Gump impression.
Hey man, I let them fly even if I can't do them. Oh man, dude.
Let's see if you can get this next point.
The next
When
point.
Forrest is running from the bullies.
No, that wasn't it.
Oh, okay.
But that is one of like
Yeah.
the bigger scenes from the movie. One of the more impressionable
Oh,
scenes, I
Yeah.
think,
For sure.
yeah.
where he's running and like the braces
They
fall
fly
off.
You're like, hell yeah.
Go run, Forrest,
I was
run!
amped. I was talking about, I posted that video in the group the other day. What scenes get you just amped?
Is that
Right
one of them
there,
for you?
dude.
That's not
No.
one. But it's
No, but you could almost make some up. You could almost make a case for it. Dude, I kind of like how they like subtly say Jenny's dad was like a molester, because it was like
Yes.
you could almost miss it. It's the way Forrest explains it, and I'm trying to think exactly what he said.
That he loved on her and
Yeah.
her sisters or something, or kissed them or
Yeah,
something.
it was
that.
like he was like he started off. It sounded as nice as ever. I think it was something along the lines of like he loved Jenny. He's like he would always hug her and touch on her and stuff, or something like that.
Which
and then
again,
you're kind of like, whoa.
it goes to the whole point of him being oblivious to what's
Yeah.
right in front of him.
Yeah, but if you're not paying attention, or if you're
Oh,
just
yeah.
a kid, like when you first heard it, it'll go right over your head.
head.
Yeah, you gotta make sure you're on your P's and Q's with that, dude. And dude, if you're talking about, of course, the run, Forrest, run.
Iconic.
Yeah, when he got older, dude, this motherfucker Forrest had some hops. Now we talk about how fast
The
he can run.
fences.
Did you see him hop that fence, bro?
I don't remember that.
Dude.
part. No.
He had like a 42-inch vertical.
Well,
How
you
could
know-
you miss it?
you know in the
This
movie,
dude, he hurdled it.
It wasn't Tom Hanks doing most of the running. It was his brother.
I did read that
That stepped
somewhere.
in for
Yeah,
him to do that.
I read like 25 interesting facts about the movie.
I got one.
Okay, let's hear it.
Bill Murray, John Travolta, and Chevy
We're
Chase
supposed to
all
play.
turned down the role.
Yep, same thing for Jenny. It was like 3 big actresses turned it down. I forgot who though. But I read
didn't-
something about
I didn't
that.
do any
Could you
homework
imagine?
like this.
Could you imagine this movie if John
No.
Travolta?
I could.
Oh hell no!
Tom
How
Hanks,
bad it would
like
be?
he's so synonymous with
I
Forrest
think
Gump.
I don't know, dude. I don't think
Chevy Chase,
Chevy
I think,
Chase.
would have been the best.
Bill
one.
Murray, no, he's just.
I could see it almost.
Chevy
but not
Chase,
quite.
I could.
But Chevy Chase would have not pulled off the drama parts as well, but I
No.
think he would have made it significantly funnier. Like his facial
I agree with that.
expressions with everything would have been so amazing.
I think Tom Hanks was the
but
perfect.
yes,
person.
Absolutely.
he was. But that would be my feeling. Like I'd almost like to see an alternate universe where it's released with Chevy Chase, just to get like a more comedic Forrest Gump. Not that Forrest Gump isn't funny, but an even more comedic Forrest Gump.
I'm gonna look up who these actresses were supposed
Well,
to be.
then Forrest, he
You all
goes
keep
through
talking.
high school, he graduates high school, and then next he's going off to college.
Roll
to
Tide.
Alabama because they saw him running. Why was he even running then? Oh, was he still running from the bullies?
Yeah,
I think so. And he ran right through.
Yeah, he
and
ran.
Coach's like, who the hell is that?
He ran as fast as the pass. Like the
Yeah,
dude
he
threw the
ran
ball
through the practice,
Yeah.
and the coach was like, "Who the hell is that?" And they got him on the team to return kicks.
and
running from sideline to
he
sideline
runs into
and
the
shit.
tunnel, which is something that has like people in the NFL do that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a celebration thing, which fucking Forrest Gump, man.
Yeah, dude. What about Forrest though? When he meets up with Jenna, like at that campus, that
Jenna.
dude was like all over.
Oh,
and he
yeah.
snuck out, and he starts like gripping him up, losing his mind. Like, I mean, dude, Forrest low key goes like, you do not want to
No.
fuck with this dude. He's, like, if you're touching Jenny, Forrest is about to come in and pull some MMA shit, Steven Seagal shit on. He's gonna throw you to the ground, push you, flip you, punch you. He does not play about his Jenny.
He's so
No.
he's so innocent and so pure.
As soon as you put
But
hands
his
on her,
love
though.
for Jenny is
innocent and
unmatched.
pure. Yeah, it's fucking crazy, dude. And then of course Jenny finally lets Forrest in on the goods. Like
Oh,
I'm over
yeah.
here wondering like how is there not at least one slip up along this way? And then it happens right there. And I wonder if it was part of it was Jenny's like I already thought I was gonna get some action, so might as well get something here. And tell me why Forrest, my dog, bust off of one touch of a titty. One touch.
It wasn't
of
even a long touch.
one
either,
touch
dude.
of the titty. He's like, I'm dizzy. It's like, are you fucking kidding me right now? That shit had me rolling, dude.
That's a hell of a titty.
I know, dude.
Mhm.
Getting dizzy after it though. Dude, them dizzy ejacks, I didn't even know that existed.
And then-
Like, what is that?
And then the Alabama football team goes and meets the president.
Well, it was the All Americans.
Oh,
He
how
was
did
an All
Forrest-
American because
Forrest-
returning kicks.
Jeez, come on. But
Which
yeah.
again, going
He's
back to when he was returning
Alabama's
kicks.
Devin Hester, dude.
When he was returning kicks, I thought it was funny when the fans they all held up little pieces that
Yeah.
like told Forrest which way to run. And if you notice the tunnel, it said Forrest stop.
Yeah.
They had a sign so he wouldn't.
and all the
continue.
band members like stop. They all yelled stop.
Trying to be prepared.
simultaneously.
Yeah, dude. Like you said, it leads to all these great things
Yeah,
and
he
these
goes-
historical events.
They're going and meeting the president, and he's talking about how there's all you can eat food or whatever you want, all you can drink. He's like, I must have had me about 15 Dr. Peppers.
like he was proud of it or something.
And then he had to pee.
Then he had to pee.
So he was
Dude, and the fact that he's in like the background of all these legendary videos,
Yes.
just chilling, and nobody's like, "Hey, fucker, get this retard out of the frame" or
they
something.
did a great job at editing
yeah,
him in.
So
especially
yeah.
for the time. I'm sure the
94.
black and white helped a lot. But yeah, for sure, you almost can't even tell at all. So
And then after he graduates,
he joins.
he joins
The
the army. The
Army.
I
army
was gonna
recruiter
ask
comes
if y'all
up.
ready to jump ahead.
Yeah, the army recruiter comes up and hands him the pamphlet, and he joins the army. Forrest is just, if an opportunity comes, he's going to take it, no matter what.
I think
whatever it is.
the slow mind that he has, where he's not
He's just
full
like,
on-
sure.
He's not full on retarded, so he's not inadequate. He can do basic tasks, but he also don't have the critical thinking to be afraid of certain things. Like he
What-
can go head over heels
Yeah.
for anything. So he's almost like in a weird way. As long as you're driven at like that IQ, you can almost do anything because nothing's standing in your way. You don't have the foresight to realize like, oh, because that's what stops us from our goals, right? Even this podcast, dude, anything I've done, there's, that kind of like, is this going to work out? Is this going to do it? I'm not going to lie to you people. Those things pop in my head, but I push through it. Stuff like that, Forrest probably doesn't even have to hurdle that kind of shit, which we know he can hurdle. He hurdled the fuck out of that
He
fence.
doesn't understand
the
failure.
consequences.
He doesn't
Which-
understand failure.
There's
I
nothing.
think leads to why he was
It's
so
unique.
successful in the army because that was one of the
Exactly.
things he said was like the army was easy, just do what they tell you.
Yeah.
And like the way he answered, like
Yep.
he succeeded
Yes.
in the military.
The repercussions don't weigh on him as much because he doesn't even factor them in most of the time unless it's at the most basic rudimentary level.
And what about Bubba?
Bubba.
Interesting fact, real quick: the actor that played Bubba, forgot his name. He couldn't get a job after this movie
That's crazy.
because in the movie he wears a fake lip.
Yeah.
And people thought that was his real lip.
Oh, my
so when he
God.
showed up, they didn't know who he was and that he was in Forrest Gump, and he couldn't get a job.
I was actually going to
from
bring
the
that,
movie,
not that up
after the
exactly, but the lip, dude. Tell me why Bubba, if I looked over here in our light, it always looks like his facial expression is almost like he always has the sun in his eyes. Like he's just like if you looked out the window on like a bright and sunny day, you look exactly like Bubba. It's like squinted like, hey,
Dude, I love
son.
Bubba.
Maybe open up the fridge too fast at 3 a.m. to eat some shredded cheese.
Some shrimp. You gotta say
Bubba
shrimp
and
there.
shrimp.
Yeah,
Speaking about
well,
Bubba.
I ain't going through all that effort.
I like when he was saying all the different
Oh,
types of shrimp.
Bubba
It
and
went
his
through like
shrimp,
3
dude.
scenes, and then he's like, and then they're scrubbing the floor. He's like, that's about it.
Dude,
Oh,
I tell you what, too, dude. One thing I will say that's different about Forrest Gump and you, wholeheartedly, Tyler,
Okay.
is he wasn't too good for Playboy. I'll just put that out there.
What do you mean?
They gave him that Playboy.
They gave him
Oh,
the Playboy
yeah.
on the top bunk. He wasn't too good for it.
Tyler loves his
What?
Playboys and masturbating.
Dude, we keep the Monday Mayhem in Monday Mayhem. We don't bring
Okay.
it on the movie.
Well, let's go.
review.
Let's get back to Bubba.
There was a couple things that were just too good to be true.
So-
I was like, I got to do this.
So Bubba's not even in the movie very long, but like he's
Yeah.
such a beloved character, and
I love him.
he ends up dying pretty quickly
Oh, that was rough.
in the movie,
Which made sense because you got to advance the story. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's always like boom,
I
boom,
like
boom, boom. But yeah.
how they're in the forest and they get ambushed, and then everyone, Lieutenant Dan, you'll,
I
hear,
love
more,
Lieutenant
you'll
Dan.
hear more about him. He's
Yes.
telling everyone to fall back and stuff. And then they all run back in the forest like, I ran too far.
Yeah.
Like I didn't find any.
Gotta go back.
I wasn't running anybody. Then he goes
Could
back
be
and he just
Bubba.
starts saving everybody, like the guy from Hacksaw Ridge.
Oh.
And then he goes and he saves Lieutenant Dan. Lieutenant Dan's like, "No, leave me here. Go. You're gonna die.
I feel
Order
like
the
that's
airstrike."
legitimate.
And then he goes and he finds Bubba, and it just don't look good for Bubba.
Which
Sad.
that the whole scene you're talking about again points to him being so oblivious because he wasn't going in there trying to save everybody. He was going in there
found
looking for
Bubba.
Bubba, but he finds Brandon here. Well, I guess I'll take him out, and he
Yeah.
saved like 15 people or whatever before
man.
he found Bubba.
And I'm so
he
glad he did.
He was just so
I've been
oblivious
goner.
to the fact that he saved 10, however many people's lives. Like he didn't even realize he was
He's-
doing that.
it
Yeah, he's like,
actually-
every time I look for Bubba, somebody else was like, hey, right here. And he's like, all right, damn it.
Maybe if you would have got to Bubba sooner, Bubba would have lived.
Talk about a workout though.
Maybe.
Carrying 10 people.
I got a feeling he
150.
was, because Bubba, I feel like he had to have been laying there for a while or he would have made his way out by that time. Then again, he was slow too, so maybe he was just lost. But if I had to guess, I think Bubba had been laying there a while. He got shot and just couldn't move because otherwise, I think by the time he pulled all those other people out, he would have already been out of the craziness. And I feel for Lieutenant Dan, man.
Yeah.
Losing his legs.
Not even just losing
Good
his legs,
God.
just in that moment, I think there is something to that, like, let me go down with the troops. Like, this is my legacy. There is something to that. Now, whether he should have been as harsh on Forrest, we'll get to that.
Well, like
but in the moment, I can understand
everyone in Lieutenant Dan's family from generations had
Died,
died in each war.
it. Yeah.
So he knew he wanted to die in this war.
Mhm.
Well, also, I think it ties into he was the leader of those troops. So almost like Brad Pitt and Fury,
Yeah.
how I was saying he never showed weakness. Even though he knew they were done, they were surrounded, he never showed weakness. Lieutenant Dan didn't want to leave his men there to die without dying with them. So I think that
Makes sense.
played into it
Exactly.
as well.
That's exactly what I was trying
But
to
then talked about Bubba getting shot, and then as Forrest is running Lieutenant Dan out, he gets shot. But the way he described it, he was like, "I got bit by something."
I got
Running
bit.
And then they
Buttocks.
he said it was in telling the story, it was the $1 million wound. Do you all know what that means? Because he was like, I ain't seen a penny from that $1 million wound.
You got lucky. There's 1
Was-
million chance that.
So no, a $1 million wound in the military refers to a wound that is serious enough to get you out of combat and everything, but not serious enough to where it's going to be a lasting effect, like losing your legs.
Yeah.
So Forrest got shot in the butt. He can't fight anymore. He's back in the air conditioning, eating ice cream and stuff. But in a week, a month, however long, he's going to be 100% fine. So that's what they call a $1 million wound, because it gets you out of combat and training and everything, and you get the cushy, sleep in a hospital bed, play ping pong all day job. So that's what
And that man
$1 million
could
wound
fuck up some
refers
ping
to.
pong.
Yeah,
Interesting fact about the ping pong, he didn't hit any ping pong balls.
I was about to say.
They were all
there had to
CGI'd
be
in.
something. Yeah,
Every ping
and
pong
that's
ball
good
was
CGI, dude. For 94,
94?
like I couldn't
Fuck
tell
yeah.
it was CG, but at the same time, I was sitting there, I was like,
He's
and I'm,
fucking
and you
gone.
know me, I'm the type of person like the CG looks like shit. The 90s, bro, to pull that off. Now it is something relatively
time.
small, and it's like quick, so it's not like in your face for a long time, but still like. But I was watching, I'm like, dude, Tom Hanks ain't fucking. He ain't got this precision. No way. I'm not buying it. I had
he-
to see a video on this because he's just ping.
He went to
ping.
fucking China to
Yeah,
like
ju-
compete in the
Oh,
world ping pong.
Exactly. That
tournament.
I heard that's how the true story of Balls of Fury was made. The movie
Really?
was based off of Tom Hanks.
Interesting.
Actually, they twisted a little bit. Write that one down. Look it up. You won't be disappointed.
But then Forrest, he also receives the Medal of Honor for saving all those people
Yeah.
in Vietnam, which he later in the movie just gives away to Jenny.
Yeah.
Just like a
And-
Medal of Honor. Like,
and-
so little people actually ever receive that or even have the
Yes.
opportunity to receive it. And like it, again, he's so oblivious. He didn't even realize what that signified or anything.
No.
I'm just going to give it away to this
and-
girl who's not interested
And,
in me.
and that's what hurts because this is where you take the oblivious label and you flip flop it to the other side. At this point, it's very abundantly clear. There's no little like inklings of like, well, maybe this and this and that and that. That Jenny's basically oblivious to Forrest. I mean, maybe oblivious ain't the right word. She knows he's there, but just gets lost in it all. Like she can't. She doesn't realize he's that special.
And then
And you know the old friend zone bullshit, and it's writing more and more home, dude. It's just getting worse and worse.
and then he meets up with Lieutenant Dan on like New Year's Eve,
Mm-hmm.
and Lieutenant Dan like is pissed that he got the Medal of Honor.
Yeah,
Because the fact that think about it from Lieutenant Dan's perspective. Like his whole heritage is military. All his family's died. He served in that war, or whatever. He feels like he was more accomplished, and then this quote unquote retard comes in and just gets the Medal of Honor in a 6-month span or whatever, however long they were
Yeah,
in.
he got the Medal
Vietnam.
of Honor, and Lieutenant Dan lost both his legs. So it's kind of
Dude.
then slid down the ramp.
oh yeah.
man. I've got to tell you, man. If you not now, but when you're first watching this movie, there's something to you feeling like, man, maybe they're blowing their load too soon. Like this is too front loaded, man. There's way too many good stories in the front. Like what are they going to do for the next hour and a half? They've chose all the best shit for the beginning. But then now that you've seen it a bunch of times, you realize it's just that good. Like it's one of the grandest stories
Storytelling,
ever told,
man.
dude. Because it's not just the hour. Because any other movie, if you watch the hour, you'd be like, how are they going to wrap this up, dude? They've already done the best possible shit. But it keeps coming. It keeps coming, and it keeps coming.
Yeah, and that first hour or whatever goes by so quickly.
It
Like
really
I
did.
checked the time. I thought I was like 30 minutes in, and I was like an hour and 15 in, and I was like, whoa.
I thought I was doomed, dude. I was laying down in bed, about to pass out, felt like going to bed, and I'm like, ain't this movie like 2.5 hours? I think I'm almost 100% sure I'm right. And I turned it on. I was like, there's no way I make it through all this, and I really need to tonight. And I somehow did. I think I took a quick nap, like one of those, like, didn't even realize I fell asleep for 2-minute naps. And like
Those
in the
help.
last 10 minutes. And I was like, okay, I can grind this out. There's only 10 minutes.
Yeah, it
But
grabs your
I made
attention.
It 2.5 hours, dude. Made it
And
through.
then Forrest goes home, and his mom has all that ping pong stuff. He says that these Chinese people want him to say that he uses their paddles, and they'll give him a $25,000 check. So he does it, And then he goes and he buys a shrimp boat.
At first, he wasn't going to do it.
No.
His mom had to like talk him into do it. Again, he's oblivious to the value of money.
And how great is it that Forrest is still like intent on doing that? Like he's stuck true to his word, even though Bubba's not there. He's like, I made a promise, whatever the fuck. And he's just like, he had to do it. Like, there was no, I mean, maybe, you know him, like maybe he didn't think too far ahead, but there was no way, no how another thought was going to enter his brain. He's like, I'm doing this shrimp boat.
Yeah,
it's
and
happening.
He knows nothing about shrimp besides what Bubba had told him, scrubbing floors and shit.
It didn't work out at first.
Yeah, he buys the shrimp boat. First of all, he overpaid for it because he gave the dude like the whole $20,000 or whatever, and the dude's like, "What?" And then he's on the shrimp boat, and he looks over at the dock, and Lieutenant Dan's there.
Yeah, it was
and
great.
he just dives off the boat,
just leaves,
and the boat just keeps going.
Every time I'm like, "What is going on?" Then of course it goes there. He's like, "That's my boat."
Crashes straight into the dock.
It's whatever, Lieutenant Dan, dude. Like, it was great for that to come full circle, man.
Lieutenant Dan staying true to his word, saying he'd be his first mate. I think it was at the New Year's party they were at.
Whenever he kicked them girls out for calling Forrest stupid.
Yep.
Yeah, and I love that too.
Yes, that was a good scene.
And of course, you get on the boat, you finally, get that moment where, Lieutenant Dan can take that step back. It might have took him a long time, and he's like, "Hey, Forrest, like I never thanked you for saving my life." And that moment's like, damn, I thought it never come. I thought it never come. It finally came. I don't know why I sound like Bill Clinton all of a sudden.
But yeah, then Forrest isn't having any luck shrimping at all. And then, again, he's so oblivious, but fortune happens, God happens, and a hurricane comes and destroys every
hurricane season was over.
Every shrimping company in the area except for Forrest Gump. So he had no competition. So he essentially becomes a millionaire from the act of God, if you will.
He don't care about money,
dude. How would y'all like to see Lieutenant Dan and Forrest Gump shrimp spin-off movie? Part of me's like, a whole movie about them getting shrimp sounds garbage. Not now.
But I'd watch it.
Not now. If it came out today, you'd be like, all right, way too. It was already a weird premise, and now
you're talking about like 96.
Yeah, but like if it would have came out back to back, dude, I would have been in that theater. Like, let's watch these dudes catch some shrimp.
So Forrest gets all this money, and then who comes back? Jenny. What was your first thought? Gold digger?
The money.
Dude.
Wrote that down. Fucking gold digger.
I know. It kind of made me mad.
Like, at what point is she going to realize that they're fucking meant to be, dude?
Well, yeah, and then, so I don't think we touched on it. Forrest's mom gets sick. Yeah. She ends up dying.
That was sad.
And then Jenny came back. Forrest asked her to marry him. And she said, "You don't want to marry me." And then, so he went to bed all sad and depressed, and she comes sneaking in the window, finally lets him clap some cheeks.
About time, dude.
And then she leaves. She gets in a cab and leaves the next morning.
She shows up randomly throughout the movie.
For a little bit, and then
telling
leaves.
you, dude. Clapping them cheeks.
But then, so...
Had one of those clap-on lights. It was just going crazy.
So Jenny left him after she turned him down, basically. So what does he do? He runs across America.
Yeah, let's just do it.
Like multiple times, which I thought was funny. And the way they portrayed that, they were like, Tom Hanks is narrating it, and he's like, I ran to the end of the street, dude, and then just kept running to the end of the other street, then ran to the end of town, then to the end of Alabama.
I'm already telling y'all, I'm already working on it. I'm gonna have that Forrest Gump conditioning by the time we end this b-ball game.
The scene where the mountains are in the background, and there's like the beautiful lake or whatever, and he's talking about how clear it is, and you can see the reflection in the lake. Those mountains weren't there. That was CGI.
I knew it.
The whole movie was filmed in South Carolina, Alabama, and Georgia, I think. They never were by any mountains.
It was called CGI back then. I don't know what it was.
Copy and paste?
Yeah, whatever it was, but I think CGI... I mean, this is kind of irrelevant, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead.
Another little scene I liked playing on the Forrest being so oblivious was when he was running and that dude came up to him wanting help with a slogan, and Forrest stepped in the dog shit, and he's like, happens. And the dude's like, what happens? Shit. And the whole shit happens slogan started from Forrest running across the country. I just thought that was a little funny thing, and also the T-shirt with the smiley face or whatever. Forrest like wiped his face on it and started that whole fucking company as well. He has no idea.
No, but he's a multi-millionaire.
Dude.
And then
unreal.
And then you figure out, so you then get back to Forrest at the bus stop telling the story, and he finally leaves the bus stop. You figure out why he's at the bus stop. He was waiting for the bus to go see Jenny the whole time, and the old lady, I think, was sitting there, and she's like, you don't need a bus to go there. It's a couple blocks down the road. So, of course, he gets up and runs to Jenny's apartment, and you figure out that Jenny's got a kid.
Mr. Sixth Sense himself.
Yes.
Dude, this whole scene, whenever they're talking and Forrest asked Jenny, she was like, his name's Forrest. Forrest is like, his daddy, she said, I named him after his dad. Yeah. And Forrest like, his dad named Forrest? And then he puts it together. Jenny's like, no, you're his dad. And then Forrest, like, you could tell the whole movie you didn't know that, you know, he doesn't know he's slow. But then, like, you could tell because he was like, is he like
he backed
me?
Up and was like,
yeah, he's like, is he like me or is he? And she was like, no, he's really smart. And then his like
Top in
face,
his class.
dude, it like
That
made
part,
me tear up.
Yeah,
It's
that part
so
hit me in the feels, dude. His
Forrest
reaction.
realized, like, the whole movie, you don't think Forrest thinks he's slow or anything, but he did the whole time. I was like, oh my god, what a little bit of a twist.
Dude.
Now he has a kid.
It's crazy how something so simple can just set you off, dude. Every time. That's all it takes to get those emotions rolling. A simple line like, is he smart or whatever the hell he's saying. It's just like, because that part hit me in my feels. But yeah,
so good.
I thought it was hilarious that because I had this is another one of those things where I don't realize in the moment who the kid is. And seeing him again, I was like, that's right. Fuck. Like, it's the kid from The Sixth Sense.
Yeah. Haley Joel Osment.
Yep. And then
he was in some big movies as a kid. Forrest Gump, Sixth Sense. That's it.
Yeah, that's two.
But then the movie comes kind of full circle again when Jenny asked Forrest Gump
and I had
if he would marry her.
For that.
For me or the
in
people?
General. Like, do you think Jenny at this point finally realized the error of her ways?
Yeah, I think so.
Or was she simply just using him again?
To take care of her kid.
That's a tough...
Dude, I really don't know. I don't think we'll ever have
a true answer.
It's all beholder, you know what I mean?
Also with the... because they hit on that she's got a disease.
Yes.
And people have speculated that it was AIDS or HIV or something, and that's what kills her. But there's interviews with the directors, and they don't confirm or deny that. Because the one downside of that is wouldn't it have been given to Forrest when they had intercourse?
You'd think. It's got to happen.
I got
We're getting blown up on Facebook.
But yeah, so Jenny asked Forrest to marry.
Sorry about that.
So they have a little wedding at Forrest's house, the inn, and who comes walking in? Lieutenant Dan. Oh, that gave me a little chill seeing him walk.
Yeah, he looked put back together. He had his hair all cut. He had a fiance or a girlfriend.
Fiance.
Fiance.
It was fiance. Yep.
Yeah, that
he came walking in. Yeah, y'all got anything else?
Dude, when Jenny does die, and then Forrest is going to her grave and talking to her.
Yeah.
Jeez, this movie gets you right in the feels every time.
It's got a little bit of...
Dude, it sucks.
How great that scene is.
It's got a little bit of everything. It's got the funny parts. It's got some action.
Yeah.
It's got the feel moments. It's got a little bit of everything in it.
Yeah, it sucks the fact that, you know, finally he's with Jenny and he's legitimately with her, and then she's got to go. But at least he was the last one with her. And
here's a question I just thought.
It, at least for a little bit.
Running on your question, do you think she asked him to marry him to make him happy knowing she was about to die, just to put him at peace?
That's another one I've thought of, dude, and I legitimately was
I think that could be why she did that. She knew she had a month to live. This dude's crazy about me. Let me give him what he actually wanted.
I could see that.
And she's going to take care, or he's going to take care of his son.
Well, also, she was always searching for love, and she never really found it. Until, like, the very end, maybe she's like, I've actually found it this whole time.
Since kindergarten, on a bus.
I'd lean more towards that because you could even hear it in Jenny's voice. I don't know if it's because she was about to die, but she just seemed more genuine in how she was talking. Like, and I think it could
Death
legitimately,
can do that to you.
yeah, it could legitimately be like she was like, I'm short of breath, I'm dying, but she just seemed like whatever, Forrest. Like that's normally how she's talking. This time she'd be like Forrest. Like it was like she felt more sincere when she was talking to him. Like it didn't, like you could almost feel it in all the other scenes where you were like, here we go again. We know what she's about to do, but in this moment, it could have been the death. But you were like, well, it feels a little more sincere this time. But, I mean, it also could be just like, I need somebody to take care of my kid and batter up. I know you will.
Dude.
And you're the dad.
You actually wrote my name in your notes twice.
Yes.
You
Come
should
on.
feel
I wasn't
honored.
going to forget it, dude. I wasn't going to forget it.
So then, towards the end of the movie, Forrest is at the bus stop with Forrest, which, again, towards the beginning, Forrest was at the bus stop with his mom, so it was kind of playing on that as well, and he's sending him off to school. I thought that was a neat little scene coming full circle there. And
Yes.
then the white feather, again, which is how the movie started, comes and blows up from his feet and like went in the air, which I thought was a nice little touch.
100%, guys, 100%.
Got any other tidbits? We ready for some scores?
I got some kid bits.
Kibbles and bits?
I bet you do kid-size bits.
Burn, bitch.
Ratings. Who wants to go first on rating?
Brandon.
I give this movie an 8.2 out of
Dude,
10.
that's stupid.
Stupid good.
Damn.
I love this movie. Anything at 8 or above is considered a movie that I love. It's one of those flicks, man. It feels hard to hate. It's such, like I said in the middle of the podcast, grand storytelling at an amazing level. But as amazing as everything that's going on is, I never really elevate. I just stay at like, this is so damn good level, but I don't have a lot of highs and lows.
Explosion.
It's almost like, I definitely don't need explosions. It's
Talk
almost
about
like
busting loads.
it's almost like there's too much good shit because I start to flatline after a while where I get used to it. And but I mean, it's amazing. It's a great movie. I get why it deserves what it deserves, and it's a great movie to me. 8.2, great flick.
I give it a 9.2.
I did.
I like it 1 point better than Brandon. Great movie, worthy of being in people's top 50s.
You gave it an 8.2. You gave it a
9.2.
Oh,
That's
1
1 point. See, 75 IQ. You
I
can't
was
do
about
math.
to say, dude, I didn't pick up my mic quick enough. The
Yo,
one time I
fuck
put
you
it down.
guys.
The one time I put my mic down.
What is your score, Tyler?
I gave it a 9.1.
Ooh,
Solid.
solid, dude. Solid.
We're gonna do our little
Of
Facebook,
course, sir.
Instagram.
Hit
Okay,
that Instagram up, dude.
Follow us, please. We're begging you.
Please.
At official Box Office Banter on YouTube. Subscribe at Box Office Banter.
Facts.
Facebook.
That's a thing.
Box Office Banner. Movies.
Movies.
Movies all cap with 2 O's. What about Spotify?
You spotted a fly?
On Spotify. We're on Spotify, guys. Go
We
follow
are.
us there at official Box Office Banner.
We have the Podbean thing now, too. Is it? Good enough.
Yeah, the website.
All great, guys. Appreciate y'all.
Love ya.
Love ya.
Wait.
Wait.